What are you exceptionally good at, but hate doing? Being on time. I only hate it, because nobody I know does it. I'm always early, and I hate it. But I'm only early BC. I'm always paranoid I'm going to be late, so I leave really early. I tell my friends I'll be there at 6 PM. We are going out at 6:30. At 6:35 they start turning up, while I've already been there for half an hour. So I've started suggesting more fun events which require everyone being there for a specific time. It's so wonderful when someone turns up late for the cinema and, oh, I wasn't sure if you were coming, so I booked tickets for the rest of us, and I guess you could book yours now. So while we are all sitting H-E-R-E, they are stuck here listening to people's problems. Me too. For some reason people like to tell me every sad thing that has happened to them. From getting a stroke 10 years ago to finding their dead dog from a ditch after it ran away. In a way I don't mind listening, but I still don't know why these complete strangers want to tell me these things seem incredibly good, but when it came time for them to reciprocate they suck. They can go duck themselves, because I'd rather hone that skill, but not for dense mother duckers. Fixing computers. Please stop asking me to fix your computer for free. Please. Can you come over and download the RAM for me? Boomer parents and in-laws, make this a bi-monthly routine. Yeah. Oaktrader? My computer is doing THST thing again where you know it was one way and then it was another way, but not really. But now it's super slow / won't connect to something. Meanwhile constantly having to remove extensions and malware from sketchy free streaming movies and porn sites. Data entry. I can type very fast and very accurately, but it's the most mindless task with zero creativity. Data entry is a gateway to the creative world of data analysis, full of such rich creative choices as should I use a stacked bar chart or a stacked percentage chart? Do I want to show this data by day or clustered by week? And what shade of grey is best for this data? I love stuff like that. A steady job that requires very little thought, but simple repetitive action, especially if I can just chill with some tunes while I work. Yeah, living the dream. Talking people down from suicide. It's my job. Edit. I've never been thanked so much before for this. I truly appreciate all of these comments. There are people who are asking. So anyone who needs help, advice, anything, feel free to PM me. And honestly, please be nice to your suicidal crisis line workers. It's a thankless job. Thank you for your service. May I ask why you hate it? I'm very good at handling children. Which is ironic, because I don't particularly like kids. Same. Kids enjoy my company, but I really not enjoy this. They're like cats. The less you like them, the more they like you. Being nice to customers. The amount of times I confuse my lines. A customer walks in, and I walk up to them, smile, and politely ask, would you like a bag with that? Completely confusion. Sorry, I meant to use my other line. Hi, how are you today? That's me. I have a generally polite attitude towards everyone, and working in retail it's easy to use that to be friendly no matter what, even when a customer is angry and wanting things done now, when I need a manager and their magic key ring to get the dang machine to accept the transaction, and that takes time. They might be at the other end of the store or busy with other customers. It doesn't help that I've had a mask of being happy and friendly since I was a teenager due to depression. That mask just stays on during work too. Public speaking. I'm an introvert, and I do safety training for my company. Comprehension has gone up drastically, and I have done quite a few talks on how to use science to make safety fun in my industry. But after, I have to shut myself in a hole for at least 3 hours to get myself back to center because it is so exhausting to me. I have to sort of be a different person, and doing that is mentally draining. Yeah, it's weird. I'm one of those people who has trouble holding a normal conversation with somebody, apart from people that I know of course, but if I'm giving a public speech or presentation, suddenly everybody pays attention to me and seems to respect my insight a lot. I've made some friends and contacts solely because they've witnessed me giving a speech and been impressed by the performance. I just get more confident and talk with a I know what I'm talking about voice when I can actually talk about a specific topic with some authority. Then someone random comes up to me and asks, so tell me about yourself, and I'm suddenly totally clueless on what they're after. So after presentations I always have this hug what just happened moment, even though I've done a lot of them. This is a great example of the distinction between introvert and shy. Procrastinating. I was excited recently because someone in my town started a procrastinator support group. Unfortunately our first meeting keeps getting pushed back. Honestly, procrastination is the reason why I haven't killed myself. Apparently, my job, my superiors and co-workers often comment how good I am. In the back of my head I'm thinking, wow, imagine how good I would be if I was actually doing something I care about and was passionate about. I'm actually kind of lazy and don't really do as much as I could do. However, they seem to like what I'm doing, so I do enough to maintain that facade and get compensated fairly well for it. I have thought about quitting a few times, but I have sort of settled in because it's hard to find something else out there, and if I can get away with being lazy but somehow being thought of as good at my job, might as well milk it while I can. This is me. I don't hate my job, I just hate working. I've been working from home for the past 3 weeks, you guys know why, and my superiors commend me every chance they get about how professional I am and how hard I'm working these past weeks. How I'm closing the same amount of incidents in less time, and with user reviews. I'm playing Animal Crossing most of the time, and rewatching Avatar. Now Korra, as I've already finished with Aang. What do you do? Math. I don't know why I'm this good at it, but I hate it so much that's crazy. Ah. So you're good at math. Lem test. 2 + 2. At what level are we talking here? Last semester we had Fourier, Laplace, strings, Z transform, and we reversed them using math code, and I don't think we are required to learn anything past this point. Sorry for my English. Cleaning. Until you're 15 minutes in and realize everything's dirty and you have to clean it now because you know you're not going to clean anything tomorrow. OMG, same. I was praised in my last job for being very thorough in cleaning my working place, kitchen, but at my place it's such a mess lol. I have to force myself to do it. I'm exceptionally good at waking up. I've never not woken up. It's a curse, really. Having to face every new day with the certainty that in all likelihood my challenges and failures will carry over and over again. Sleep is my mistress, and a whore is she. Night after night, she holds me, coddles me, uses me. When sunlight comes knocking on my door, as it must, she jumps awake and sends me off into the world through the back door. Silent, dreary and blubbering curses to the wind. It is my back door. She is my guest. And yet, every morning I find myself in mile-only nakedness, darting from cover to cover, searching for any sign of respite from the heat of day. Tonight I will go back into the arms of my familiar. I will let her hold me, coddle me, use me, for one more chance, that when sunlight comes knocking she will keep holding me, coddling me, using me. For the more. You got them good words. Do it more. That's fucking beautiful. Everything I have ever become exceptionally good at. As soon as I become proficient at something the fun stops and it just becomes work. I pretty much only enjoy learning, but I don't get much enjoyment out of performing what I have already learned. For example, I had an amazingly fun time learning how to weld for over 10 years. There's a lot to learn in welding, and you can make major improvements for many years. You can even go your whole career learning new things about welding, but eventually you reach a point where you have become proficient, and you're only doing minor adjustments to perfect your craft. For me the joy is gone at that point, and with that goes my pain for it as well. Maybe start teaching. There can be a lot of joy and satisfaction in seeing others become good at things you are teaching them. I worked with a welding supervisor who basically was tasked of getting the skills up. He was very passionate talking about other people's welds and craftsmanship. I'm the same way, and I hate it. Like, why can't I just enjoy chess and not let it become work? It's so stupid. Even in video games like PoE, theory crafting, building, and completing a character is really fun. but once it's fully finished and I've played for a day or so, I just lose interest, or it feels like work when it should just be having fun on a video game. Instead of enjoying being good at something, whether it's professional or play, I'm always just looking for what's next to learn and moving on to the next thing. Luckily I'm not stupid with it, like investing money into a hobby I'm going to stop doing right after I get good at it and just waste money. Cooking. I'm an amazing cook, but I absolutely hate cooking. Cooking, that hobby you don't want anyone finding out you do, because then they just ask you to do it for them. I always dreamed of being a musician, then 5 or so years as a fairly successful professional made me hate making music for a long while. After that I worked as a chef, which had resulted in me hating cooking, and sometimes even eating. I'm starting to enjoy it again, since the coronavirus situation has galvanized my interest in changing careers, but I swear it seems like I'm on a mission to ruin for myself everything I really love doing. Edit. I've never actually edited a post before, but I feel like I should address what most of the comments are saying. Of course it's not uncommon that obligation and payment, broadly speaking, ruin creative pains for many people. I don't think it's because the two things are fundamentally incomparable. Lots of people have jobs that they love and are proud of. We maybe should consider why our cultural mythos insists on separating ceaselessly working to fulfill a creative pain and sometimes doing boring or unpleasant tasks as part of a job. Why we, at least we who consider ourselves passionate or creative, romanticize music or art or dance or cooking, or even sport, that we believe will be somehow immune to tedium and anxiety when we grow up to be a successful artist or whatever. Our culture, Western culture, I suppose I mean, encourages idealizing the idea of living off of one's creative pain so much that any deviating outcome feels devastating, as in a relationship where a girlfriend/boyfriend is idealized to the point where an annoying habit or frustrated admonishment feels apocalyptic. I just would hope that everyone wouldn't dismiss turning a creative pain into a job if given the chance, but also that everyone would take the time to reflect on what they're getting into and what their options are. Take care of yourselves. Lawn work. I can do it all. Struggle to do a basic mow and trim on my own yard on time. Organization. At work everything is pristine. Any video game I play becomes disgustingly structured. The idea of organizing my bedroom makes me want to lie on the floor and cry. Much the same. At work, I clean as I go. Organized, tidy, tools cleaned and sorted. And I know where everything is. Every bolt, drill bit, spanner, item of test equipment, oil can, widget, useful piece of scrap material. If anyone wants to know where anything is, they ask me. At home, duck it, I'll vacuum tomorrow. No clean mugs? That one's not so bad, I'll just rinse it out. One end of the kitchen counter is for mail. The other day I found an unopened letter from 2016 with a 50 discount voucher in it that would actually have been useful to me at the time. Wow. That organization part is very relatable. Other people's jobs. Because I work with a bunch of people that don't do their jobs, I know the feeling. Hope you are a project manager, at least you are compensated for doing everyone's job. My technique for getting laggards to do their job is to have them give me a demo to show me their amazing skill/knowledge. At least this works well in it. Blowjobs. Got good so they don't take long. It's boring. Let's get this over with and get some ducking tacos. You sound like my uncle. Blowjobs. I'm a lesbian. Anything academic. I have zero work ethic, but can do very well on tests, essay, etc. if I actually apply myself. I just don't. Oh yeah. I'm currently, as I'm writing this, having my distance class about halfway done with the assignment, and my teacher said deadline Tuesday, which led me here to commenting on Reddit instead of what I should be doing. I'm the same way. I don't even know how I made it through high school or college, particularly because I barely studied for anything. The rare few times I did, I always excelled though. I remember one of my friends in high school getting pissed off at me because we had to write a paper for our English class. She started hers like 2 weeks in advance. She was much more studious than me BTW, and I started mine like 2 or 3 days before the due date. I ended up getting a higher grade than her on my paper by like 5 points. I'll never forget it. I always got yelled at by my parents as well, because they knew I had potential to be an honor student or valedictorian, but I just never put in any effort to go the extra mile. Debugging. I can find the issue in other people's code faster than they can. I just hate doing it because it requires a lot of sticking cheese to the wall and seeing why it won't stick 64 errors in code. Oh, they forgot a bracket over there. EZPZ2560 errors in code. Duck my life. Same here, but I guess that applies for most people with a decent coding skill though. You usually find other people's problems quicker than you find your own as you look at things from a different perspective and distance. Disappointing my parents. Immigrant parents by chance, same. Listening. I'm fairly introvert, so my need for speaking is pretty low, so other people can vent to me and praise me for being a good listener, but it usually bores the hell out of me. HMMMN. And why is that? This is me, I think. What bothers me is when people take 2 minutes to get one point across that they already did in the first few seconds. I feel like a large chunk of work conversations are just people repeating themselves, which can be useful when it comes to making sure everyone on the same page, to be fair. But so much of the time, I'm just sitting in my chair for several minutes, listening to people reiterate the same thing over and over. I try to say something to indicate I've understood what they're saying, but they just keep going. Socializing at parties. Honestly, it's probably because we recognize it's hard for other people, so why not make it easy and do the work for them? Thing is, I can only keep it up for a couple of hours maximum and people judge me by that, meaning they think I can keep it up indefinitely. I hate parties after the first hour, and I'm always looking for the exit. I much prefer attending events and venues where people can come and go as they prefer, rather than forcing everyone to stay for 6H, which sucks for people like me. I hate going to parties. I'm great at socializing, but it's exhausting. When I leave, I don't want to speak to anyone for 24 hours to recover. I stay at home and just binge watch and read, hoping no one calls me. I just need to recover. Then comes the inevitable call for another party because I was so much fun at the last one. Writing. I'm good at it because I put in the time and effort to do it correctly, not because I'm naturally skilled at it. The secret is in the editing and re-editing ad nauseam. I'm also exceptionally lazy, so doing the inherent work of putting pen to paper is excruciating. I love writing and would really like to be an author, but I'm terrible at it and can never find the motivation or the time. Same. I used to win awards and shiz all the time for the stories I'd write in college and high school. Would get A's on every paper, even if I was doing poorly overall in the class. Everyone thought I'd pursue a career in it. But truth be told, I ducking hate writing. Masturbating. I ducking hate it, but I get off every time. Good job. I was going to say masturbating. I'm really good at getting myself off, but the shame is inevitable. Washing the shame glaze off of my hands and looking at myself in the mirror is almost unbearable. Almost. Drawing and painting. I have always been a pretty good artist ever since I was a young kid. When I got to college, I realized I hated it and almost never do it anymore. I'm pretty good at acrylic painting, but it takes so much time and it's so boring. Another thing is washing the stuff you used for it and tidying up everything. Just annoying. Everybody wants me to continue painting, but I just completely lost my interest in it. I love drawing, but only when it's things I want to draw. When I was growing up, my dad would always pressure me to make landscapes for some reason, but I never did it. Now he has me paint designs and characters on birdhouses he builds, and I absolutely hate it. I don't even get paid that much to do it. It's annoying. Being a nerdy, obedient kid for parents. Asian here. So when you play choice video games, do you do the good guy by default, or can you do bad guy playthroughs? Cleaning. I hate cleaning, and cleaning my own place is the worst. Feels like I have to drag myself to do the non-essentials some days. Helping old people with their phones. You don't even have to explain why you hate it, and we all can understand and sympathize with you. Cleaning/organizing for keepers, like pre-hoarders. My sister had this problem particularly bad, and every few years I'd totally redo her room. and make it beautiful. Last time I did this, apparently she literally fell on the ground and started crying. My mom thought she was upset at first, but it was just extreme relief and clarity, having all her things laid out nicely and easily accessible/visible, without extra clutter. And I used rubber cement to stick black tissue paper against one of her walls. It's really easy to take down and does not damage, and honestly it looked really cool. It made the room feel way bigger. But I'm a keeper and I cannot keep my office clean/organized for chores. I need someone to come and do this for me. My husband had a horrible car accident and we moved all of our stuff from our old apartment to our new house without sorting through it. My in-laws moved in to help us out after the accident because I still had to work and my husband was wheelchair bound and we were both incredibly depressed, and so our stuff was relegated to closets and the attic or garage. Some of our things are still in the boxes we moved them in 6 years ago. It's beyond overwhelming. I don't know where to start. Please, tell me more about this keeper business. Is that your own term, or where did you learn it? Lying. You're lying. Fun fact, one of my minor superpowers is that I'm only good at things I don't particularly enjoy doing. This'll get buried, but I have a 1 in a million singing voice. For light opera and comic musicals, I'm a huge fan of classical and opera, especially late romantic/early modern, but I ducking hate most musicals. But hey, if society collapses and you need someone to do Pirates of Penzance over the campfire for the kids, I guess I'll indulge. We are getting there, so better start practicing. Drawing. Been drawing as long as I can remember, but now I just get stressed when I draw. Since grade school to now, everyone and their mother asks me to draw them something in return for absolutely nothing. Got to the point it's the only way I felt noticed in school or around my peers. It's very minuscule, I know, and am humbled to an extent that people could see my art and physically want it, but it makes me only draw for myself at the end of the day because of it. Even when I started to do it for money, people just want to skip out on the pay or cut you short. BC, it didn't take long enough to warrant that price. I just lost the pain and fun of drawing after years of dealing with very rude people who do not think artists deserve money for their time. Find myself enjoying it here and there when I'm bored or making something for myself/friends. Aside from that, I sadly don't think I could handle a career with it. I understand you on a spiritual level here. I started drawing when I was about 6 or 7 and everyone wanted me to draw the dumbest chiz for no pay. I kept telling them no and just drew for myself. Now people, especially family, keep telling me I should make drawing a career, like going to be an animator for Disney. But I only want to draw when I want to, not because I have to. It should be something I enjoy doing. Wanting a discount on art because the artist finished it fast and I'm arming with good quality is like saying you should be able to pay less for shipping because it got to your house too fast. I'm good with animals and kids, but the weird looks made me hate children, and animals started to annoy me like a year back. Adult male being good with kids equals parents arming you up pedo or some craziness. I found it best in life to ignore all children, unless they are my close friends, and even then I'm never in a room alone with a child. Just best to cover my own butt. Being a duck up. Same dude. Staying alive. Washing dishes. Being bad at stuff. I love writing, in fact I'm an avid writer. My friends read my chiz and tell me I need to stop calling it trash because that's the kind of writer I am. But when I'm told I need to write an essay about something I couldn't give 5 of a duck for, nope, I hate writing. Everything. As the proverbial jack of all trades, my river of knowledge is extremely wide, though not very deep. So if there's something that seems just above the average person's pay grade, but not complicated enough to warrant paying a professional a lot of money to do, they call me. I build web pages as my job, but I'm apparently also a plumber, electrician, construction worker, accountant, clothing tailor, chef, car repairman, appliance repairman, a/V guy, musician, photographer, videographer, graphic designer, and all-around troubleshooter for seemingly any problem. It can get a little exhausting being everything to everyone. Baking. It's the portioning that I run out of patience with. Being a boyfriend could get a sex change and spice things up. Why do you hate it? Programming Crestron control systems. Taking charge / being in control. Both at work and at home. I'm confident, calm and can usually handle anything. However, everyone always turns to you because of it, and it would be nice if I didn't have to all the time. Same. I always take on the leadership role for projects, but somehow my enthusiasm for said project translates to I'll do all the work, while everyone sits back and takes credit. My job. I can draw almost as good as a photo, but it's really boring and pointless when you have a camera. Might have made me a living about 200 years ago. Treating sick / injured cats, because I get too emotionally attached to the cases. Talking to people and strangers, I come off as outgoing, confident and friendly, and I get along with people. But I have social anxiety and am screaming in agony internally the entire time. Kinda contradictory. Cooking. I'm cook quite well. At least that's what my friends tell me. However, I often cannot manage the time it takes to cook. I hate the time, but love the cooking part itself. Customer support. I was very good at it, but now I am so happy I don't do that anymore. Once a year I still come back to it. If they have training or something to help out, it just reminds me how lucky I'm not having to do that anymore. Getting away with murder. You hate getting away with it? Would you rather get caught? I'm really good at writing essays, but unless it's about a subject I love, I can't be bothered. Trumpet and existing. Same bout existing. Flirting. Wanna get closer than 6 foot. Writing essays or long paragraphs on Reddit. Managing people. I'm a software engineer that has been eager to work with a number of adjacent coworkers on large projects. I always found myself thinking, if nobody is going to do it I might as well. Working with devs is mostly awful, and I have declined the opportunity to become a lead and do it full time. I'm sticking to the senior developer track. Jumping to conclusions. Graphic design. I spent years doing it for fun, went to college for 2 years for a degree, and now I want nothing to do with the chiz. Working for other people is a nightmare. Not being dead yet. Making sandwiches very fast and neatly. I get complimented on it all the time, and get called a sandwich artist. What a lot of people don't know is that I'm an actual artist with an advanced art degree and everything. Teaching. Hate is a strong word. It's more like I'm qualified to do it, and I studied for it, and even got licensed for it. But the thought of actually doing it for a living is just not me. It's a job that, in my view, demands authenticity, and it's inauthentic for me. The education itself I don't regret, but it was unwise of my younger self to pursue it. I felt trapped, and it seemed a safe way out. It wasn't. Shooting. I discovered that I can shoot absurdly well when I was young, and when I got older my philosophy towards firearms changed a lot. Sort of a wasted skill on me, I guess. Chisting 6 seconds after my first sip of coffee. Drawing. I used to love drawing when I was younger. Aced all my art classes all through school, but over the years I've all but completely lost interest. People always told me I should pursue a career in art, but honestly, if I had to draw for a living I'd hate doing it even more than I already do. It's frustrating that people act like, if you have talent you're obligated to do something with it. Driving sober. I hope someone gets the reference. Writing. I'm constantly told I have a way with words, but I have no idea what people are talking about. At work, I'm tasked with sending out clarifying emails, or asked when I'm going to publish an article. During college I was once voluntold to write a review article for another colleague, just because I'm good at writing. An entire scientific review article on a topic I had only been recently introduced to at that time. If I participate in any projects, get automatically tasked with the write-up. I dislike writing. I think it takes me longer to write than most because I think I'm horrible at it. It makes me anxious, to be honest. It took me 20 minutes just to press send on this. Losing weight. I know how to do it and will only partake in losing it for summer butt duck. I love food so much. Running. Fairly rapid at stop and go and sprints, but can't be bothered to move my legs 70% of the time. Ballet. Lying. Eating. Working. My whole team loves me. They believe that I love my job, which is why I perform well. But that's not the case. I try to follow rules and do the best I can, but deep down inside, I just want to run away from everyone and everything. I hate the kind of job I have. Oh my, you watched until the end? That's fucking awesome, dude. Thanks for watching.